Hey there, Kenneth French of Vast Voice, telling business secrets to entrepreneurs. We're very, very happy you stopped by. Either you're going to watch this or listen to this because you want to take your business to the next level. You're probably an entrepreneur who's either just starting out or you've been around for quite a while and you want to take your business to the next level. You're probably a real estate investor, maybe even a real estate agent, maybe a professional or of some sort, professional advisor of some sort. And well, you are stopping by because you need some valuable advice from one of the top industry leaders there is. Anyway, thank you very much. Once again, Kenneth French, Vast Voice, telling business secrets to entrepreneurs. Really glad that you stopped by.
This is big. Hey there, Kenneth French. We're going to be specifically talking about the new big tax bill and how it implicates and its implications on business owners, specifically people within our community here at the Vast Vault, sponsored by vastsolutionsgroup.com. This is big. There's going to be a lot of people who are going to save a lot of money. Obviously, a lot of you people know out there that we're doing a lot of work on research and development tax credits, both in the federal and state level. They're really specifically helping our business owners. So we're going to be talking about specifically, really, a large portion of our communication here today is going to be talking about that and how it can help you as a business owner. Because a lot of people don't know if they're using ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, etc. They could be saving a lot of money with taxes, especially the people who are in our world who are business owners. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so we could get going talking about, well, this new tax bill that's going to help so many people. Once again, my name's Kenneth French with vastsolutionsgroup.com. Obviously, you know that. You probably wouldn't be watching this if it weren't for you knowing us or knowing me somehow, some way, some shape or form. I should mention real quickly, I'm a 3-time author. I have a new book coming out here in just a little bit called modernmillions.ai. I'm a former Forbes.com small business owner contributor. I write for the AI journal, and I also obviously help manage vastsolutionsgroup.com, where we do tax finance and artificial intelligence really to lower tax liability, which we've been doing off and on really since 1969. But really now what we're really being known for is legally, ethically, morally lowering tax liability for business owners using artificial intelligence. Here you see the new big tax bill, key changes and implications. Really, once again, we're talking about for our business owner clients. We're going to get right to it. This is going to be quick and dirty. We're going to help you to hopefully save some money as it relates to your taxes. Here you see R&D tax credits. We're going to go over really the main components of the tax bill and how it relates to, again, you usually as a business owner. And really, by the way, if you have any questions, please go to our website at vastsolutionsgroup.com. Or obviously, you can reach out at 415-212-8189, and we can point you in the right direction, whatever specifically you're looking for. We have tax attorneys, we have CPAs, EAs, and also tax consultants who can help you. Let's get right to it. The R&D tax credits are now easier to use than ever, and that's a big thing. We've been really pushing R&D tax credits, as I mentioned, on the state and federal level, because so many people don't realize that they're just walking over dollars. And specifically, a lot of people are using ChatGPT, et cetera, et cetera. Now, if you're pushing the envelope, if you're being some type of a innovative individual out in the marketplace, you probably are due some money from the feds or the state level. And by the way, even if you don't have state income tax wherever you are, still you could be getting some client dollars, or I should say some tax dollars back from the state, even if you don't have state tax. Expanded eligibility for R&D tax credits. So a lot more people, a lot more entrepreneurs, a lot more companies are going to be able to get back R&D tax credits on the federal level. So that's one thing to think about. If you didn't even think you were eligible before, now you might even be more eligible, because now the grouping of individuals and entities, et cetera, that were not getting tax credits before in the federal level now are eligible more so on the federal level. And also, as a result of that, sometimes you can get state dollars. So I'm making this up, instead of, let's say you had a chance of 50% of getting research and development tax credits, now, who knows, maybe you have a 70% tax avenue or path to getting R&D tax credits. And by the way, tax credits are better than deductions. They're more powerful. Sometimes it's a dollar to dollar ratio. Instead of, you potentially getting whatever 20% or 30% as a deduction, here you might get dollar for dollar. So it's worth you asking your tax provider. If they don't know anything about research and development tax credits in both the state or federal level, I would suggest going to taxcreditintel.com, taxcreditintel.com. There's a quiz there free, by the way, and they help. They're the biggest in the industry. They're the biggest group or neutral consultant of helping individuals, helping entrepreneurs getting R&D tax credits. They have a lot of tools, a lot of information on the website. It's worth going to taxcreditintel.com. Also, by the way, it's going to be supposedly based on its tax bill. And what I should also say is, it's a little early. It's going to take the government a little bit of time to come through on that bill, the big tax bill. But what I would say is supposedly you're going to have simplified documentation. It's going to be easier to get R&D tax credits because right now it's a lot of work, at least for us. When we do R&D tax credits, if we go to Tax Credit Intel, client goes in, puts their information in as an example, showing they could be getting some tax dollars, they are eligible, then we have to do a bunch of work. And to be more than blunt, it's a lot of work. It's not very profitable for us, but at the same time, we know that it helps business owners to get research and development credits. It's a lot of work. But anyway, going forward, supposedly it's going to be a lot easier to get R&D tax credits if, as an example, you're an entrepreneur, you're being innovative, you're taking care of the 4 pillars that are R&D tax credit kind of barriers to getting the R&D tax credits. If you take care of the kind of the 4-part test, you might be eligible to get money in your pocket. And again, I'm going to say it's better than a deduction because it's dollar for dollar usually. Also, increased rates and limits. So don't you want to have a higher opportunity for getting it? Yes. And don't you want to get more money as a result? Well, that's now what's in this big tax bill. So I would say is, probably go to the taxcreditintel.com. Again, taxcreditintel.com. See if you're eligible. I'm sure on that website, it's probably not even updated because it just passed. But what I would say is at least you'll get an idea, general idea, if you are eligible, and then also look at some of the tools there, and then look at the various different companies that are outlined there that supply consultation to entrepreneurs as far as research and development credits on the state and federal level. Now, a second component to the big tax bill, immediate expensing extended. Now, the cool thing is now this thing called Section 174. Now, you get to immediately expense some of your expense. I know it sounds funny. Immediate expensing of business expenses, right? It's a government, right? But right off the bat, instead of, let's say, having an expense that can be expensed in 2 years, potentially you could have it done now if you have a big tax liability now, because you're expensing that expense earlier, you might be able to save some tax dollars. $1 saved now is better than $1 saved in, as I outlined, in 2 years. So the tax savings for businesses, think about it here. It says, by allowing businesses to deduct their expenses up front, meaning now versus in 2 years, the new tax bill will provide you with valuable tax savings as a result. Again, if you could save tax dollars now, you don't know what it's going to be like down the road. It's a powerful element to keeping cash in your pocket. And who knows, maybe investing in different entities or different investments and maybe making your assets grow that much bigger. Plus, by the way, it makes it so it's going to be easier for tax planning. That is our issue. We obviously here at VastSolutionsGroup.com trying to push tax planning because that's so important. If you plan for your taxes with us, with your artificial intelligence as an example, you work backwards. You're planning now for the future. So what you want to do is use your artificial intelligence, which we've been doing with Einstein since really 2018 under our own model, Einstein. We work backwards to lower the tax liability. If we know where the tax liability is now, we know what we could do going forward to help lower the tax liability in advance. You're trying to putting together a process to lower the tax liability. With this new system, with this new tax bill, it will help. In general, it will just help. Now, what I'm also, this isn't really a commercial for VastSolutionsGroup.com per se. We're trying to provide some information out there. What I would say is go back to your tax provider. Maybe, who knows, they probably know your tax situation more than anyone. People in the Vast Vault, by the way, a lot of resources are being provided in that Vast Vault in our community. I mean, we have, 800 people in that community that are all business owners or service providers that are helping you as a business owner. But what I would say is, there's no one knows your situation better than your own CPA, tax provider, tax planner, etc. Talk to that person. Maybe they can help you. If they can't, go to the community that you're already probably a member of because you're watching this, listening to this, or reach out to us at VastSolutionsGroup.com. By the way, Section 174, costs eligible for expensing, bigger universe costs that you can expense as well. Now, I'm going to remind you, it's early, that it's I think 900 and something pages, that tax bill. But what I would say is it's early, but at least you're kind of, you're researching or getting into the specifics of tax situation now versus down the road. So I applaud that, because it's smart that you're doing that, because it's hot off the press. You want to try to get a better understanding of your tax liability now, which is probably why you're watching and listening to this. Your 100% bonus depreciation is back. Boom. Instead of, again, and to a certain extent, when I mentioned, in year 2, you could diverse some stuff, let's say, as far as expenses. Instead, here, bring it into year 1. Well, now you can do 100% depreciation. So you can depreciate 100% of a purchase in general, by the way. We're going to see how that's going to be interesting to see how that all pans out. But instead of going down the road, here it's the new tax bill reinstates 100% bonus depreciation, allowing businesses to deduct the full cost in the year that they're placed in the service. If you buy, I'm making this up, a big car, as an example, you don't have to, spread it out over years, meaning that cost, that depreciation, therefore, can be all in this example, whatever, 2025. That makes it really nice. Plus, the eligible assets, the list of assets is much bigger now. So that's a big thing. I mean, bottom line, you as an entrepreneur should be very happy that you have this bill that's been signed. It's in your best interest to take advantage of whatever you can. Specifically here, we're talking about 100% bonus depreciation. I don't want to take too much time of yours, but again, talk to people in the community. I mean, that's what it's for. You're paying whatever it is, $199 a month for, for tools, for the network, for resources. Use it. It kind of blows me away that so many people don't use it when there's so many things that are there as it relates to lowering tax liability. I mean, it's probably worth it for you to spend $200 a month, $199 a month, if you're getting all the advice and all the consultation within that community. We're hearing more and more people are starting to use it. But what I would say is, I would say we need a lot more people using the resources in that community, networking, because they're, by the way, not only is it helpful for taxes, for asset protection, estate planning with my, quasi business partner, Bob Bloom, and his team at over Asset Defense team. But what I would also say is, who knows, if you're trying to get a business deal or a finance deal, or let's say a real estate deal, financed, we got a lot of people who are very high net worth who can potentially do some deals with you. Or if you're, looking for some deals and you're a high net worth individual, the vice versa, you can find some guys, girls who are looking to do some deals, and you can fund some deals. That's a huge, huge benefit of being in the Vast Vault, that community. I said this tongue in cheek. Section 179 deduction limits, you can do them now. I think you probably get what I'm trying to get at. You can do them now instead of later, and you can accelerate them. Now let's talk about the relief in general for small businesses. Expanded Section 179, yes. Simplified accounting regulations. So they're working on, and this is going to be interesting to see how this works, some of the cash, if you're a cash-based business, they're working on some of the specifics for helping kind of simplify it. That also has to do with the tax bill, by the way, the tax and tips, by the way. But anyway, what I would say is it's going to be a little bit more simple now. You don't have to give quite as much documentation. By the way, still have to do everything legally, morally, and ethically, but it's not going to be quite as much work for you, the business owner. As I've outlined earlier, tax deductions for equipment purchases. And then, by the way, there's going to be there's some easing of the rates for pass-through entities. This, I don't think I'm going to spend any time on this. Really, it doesn't really affect that many of our people. Child tax credit, even if, it helps a little bit. What I would say is, I think most of our business owners probably have kids already established already, but the amount has increased a little bit, and the income thresholds have been expanded a little bit. So, now this is big. So, by the way, I should do a reset. Once again, Kenneth French with vastsolutionsgroup.com. Again, 3-time author, have another book coming out, modernmillions.ai. Go to that website if you're interested in getting the book. For the people in the community, they have access to electronic copy of the book. And if you're on the book launch committee, or I should say team, you get some pretty good stuff. Your name's potentially in the book, number one. Number two, you're going to get some kind of companion guides that are going to be helpful in kind of working with the system in the Modern Millions .ai system, which is going to help you as a business owner, and hurt the people who are out there paying crazy amount in taxes, it's going to help lower taxes, and it's going to help increase net worth because there's going to be some elements in there as far as utilizing AI to your benefit, and then also some asset protection estate planning with using artificial intelligence. A lot of people don't know that you can use artificial intelligence and help your asset protection estate planning situation. Anyway, so I think you get it. Go to vastsolutionsgroup.com if you have any questions, or go to the app. We have an app. A lot of people don't use it. Go to the app, Vast Vault. It's a community here that we have at vastsolutionsgroup.com. And if you have any questions, again, 415-212-8189. So a lot of our clients are Canadian, and we have some clients in Europe. So right now, people don't realize this. Oh my gosh, how much work it is to do taxes for people who have entities who are cross-border or who are, let's say, Canadian entities or either entities or citizens, and they have entities here in the United States. There's a lot of paperwork that needs to be accomplished as far as your taxes. A lot of people aren't doing it, and right now it's a mess, frankly, as far as all the paperwork that needs to be filed for 2024 and 2025. It's gotten easier. Now, that being said, some of the penalties are getting a little bit worse. So sure, yes, it's easier now to file, but at the same time, if you don't file, you don't have the proper paperwork, even though it's less, generally speaking, there's going to be penalties. So you got to make sure you're talking to your cross-border attorney or your cross-border accountant to make sure you're taken care of. By the way, here at vastsolutionsgroup.com, we do have an office up in Canada, in Toronto, and we can help you if you are a Canadian client. And obviously, we have cross-border. We have a global tax strategist who can help you if you are in that camp. You're whatever, Canadian citizen or European citizen, and you have an entity here. Just want to make sure that your penalties are you don't have penalties. Bottom line. Anyway, so it's gotten a little bit easier. And then finally, I'm going to just make a general observation. There's a lot of good things here as a business owner. I don't know what your proclivities are towards the political party. You could like Trump. I don't know, whatever the case is. But what I would say is, if you're a business owner, generally speaking, you are in probably pretty good shape that now this new tax bill has been signed into law. We don't know how it's all going to shake up. We really don't know. But what I would say is, at least generally speaking, it's a good thing right now if you're a business owner, because your taxes are going to be a little bit lower potentially than they have been, especially if you're doing anything with artificial intelligence, because, man, this is big as far as the new regs and tax situation with respect to research and development. Federal, state, you're going to get a lot. It's going to be easier. More people are going to be taking advantage of it, or could take advantage of it. Hopefully they will. You never know. And you're going to get more money. I mean, this is a huge deal. I'm pretty excited about this. Once again, I'll say vastsolutionsgroup.com if you need any help. Reach out, 415-212-8189. The app, Vast Vault, whatever we can do to help you, we're here to help you. Once again, this is Ken French of vastsolutionsgroup.com. Please reach out if you need any help, because we're here to help you. Once again, it's been indeed a huge pleasure.